You'll be needing this. The chronorium. But I've already read it. Read it again. What is the meaning of this? The pages have changed. They... Our blood. Mine blood. You cannot possibly expect me to let this happen.
This video might easily be my most controversial video yet, so strap in. I don't believe that the drama that was taking place in the COD Zombies community was being talked about as much as it should be. In the shadow of all this MrBeast drama, there was another YouTuber that was facing very serious allegations. Though last week he managed to finally beat those allegations, I don't think that was the end of the story. That YouTuber's name is Lex, also known as MrTLexify. MrTLexify is a 26-year-old YouTuber who is known for his videos on the COD Zombies franchise and has amassed 1.6 million subscribers on YouTube. Lex was being accused of SA and physical assault by his ex-girlfriend Reagan McNulty. For weeks, Lex had fans and friends alike turn on him. People that once referred to Lex as their best friend began making videos taking Reagan's side, disavowing Lex's alleged behaviors, and distancing themselves from him, all while leaving Lex and his side of the story on red. And the MrTLexify channel also lost 10,000 subscribers just in the month of July alone. Also, Lex was being told to ride the old sewer slide, you know, that thing, you know? You get it? That resulted in Lex needing therapy. All in all, it was not a good few weeks for the MrTLexify channel. Lex had posted his side of the story on Twitter. He also released a Google Doc with evidence proving his innocence. Yet the damage to his reputation was seemingly already done. However, last week he managed to post a 30-minute long video disproving all of the allegations against him in perfect detail, all while exposing his ex-girlfriend for the very things that she accused him of doing. Isn't that just how it always goes? Reagan had accused Lex of grooming her when she was 15 and he was 18. But it becomes clear when you look at the original statement that Reagan was incapable of doing math. You see, Lex was actually 17 years old. He would not be 18 for another month. These are really minute details anyways, because honestly, if you're one of these people that get mad about a less than 3-year age gap for dating in high school, then you're not gonna like the rest of this video anyways. You should just go ahead and drop your dislike, drop your hate comment, and back off to Reddit where you belong. I personally can't think of two different types of people more likely to be upset by the age gap listed in this video than a neckbeard from Reddit who couldn't pull a woman to begin with, or a middle-aged woman who didn't marry the man that they wanted to for whatever reason, and therefore had to either settle or drop out of the dating pool altogether. Look, let me make it clear, I am not a MrTLexify sycophant. I didn't even know who he was before this drama dropped. I just generally don't believe that it's possible for a 17-year-old or an 18-year-old even to groom a 15-year-old in high school. It just doesn't make sense to me. If you're one of those people that do believe that, however, maybe you should try advocating for actual policy changes. I don't know, think about like adding a 3rd year to middle school or something, instead of just bitching about it on the internet like a booty. Because I grew up in a state where the Romeo and Juliet law was in place, it was very common when I was in high school that freshmen and sophomores would hook up with juniors and seniors. It's just how it was. For those of you who don't know what the Romeo and Juliet law is, it's a law that protects relationships exactly like this, where one of the partners becomes a legal adult while the other is still technically a legal minor, and so it protects the now legal adult from being prosecuted for statutory rape, as they were both minors when they got together. Granted, this situation with MrTLexify happened in California, where there is no Romeo and Juliet law to protect him. Also, he's a Canadian in America on a visa, so it's not a good look. You know, in Canada, the legal age of consent is 16, but when in Rome, you live like the Romans, simply just meaning respect the law of the land you're in. Regardless, Lex had managed to prove that Reagan had cheated on him with a 17-year-old boy named Lawrence when she was 20. Who's the groomer now, Reagan? Also, I have to say something about the way he found out that she was cheating on him. He found out by going through her diary, which I have to admit is a little strange.
One of the clear breaks in our relationship was in September 2021 when she told me she wanted to pursue someone named Lawrence. She was already cheating on me with him months prior, as evidence of this Instagram photo. I first learned about Lawrence's true age of 17 when I found her diary that detailed her cheating on me as an adult when we were in a relationship earlier that year. Reagan did this simply because I had tried messaging other women to escape this relationship.
Now, I generally don't think it's a good idea to be going through your partner's phone or diary or anything like that when in a relationship. It is an invasion of privacy, which we will talk about more in a little bit. But in this situation, it's kind of a good thing that he did it, because at the end of the day, it is what saved him. Lex had also managed to prove that the photos of alleged physical abuse were in fact fake. Reagan was using old photos of bruises that she got in a car accident as evidence that he was kneeling on her legs and choking her.
In regards to the photo of her bruised leg, these photos are fake, as at the time we were moving from one apartment complex to another. Reagan claims this event took place on June 6, 2023, with the photo being taken on June 7, 2023. I had taken a picture of movers spending the entire day and night on June 6th, the supposed event of physical abuse, moving our stuff from her old apartment into the new one. On June 7th, we were also not in our old place where she took this photo of her bruised leg. There was no time for any of these accusations to have taken place, and if something did occur, the movers would have noticed. Reagan was in 3 separate car accidents in Los Angeles during 2022 to 2023. These bruises were from these car accidents when we lived in our old apartment where I was not in the car at the time. Reagan had also messaged a fan of hers regarding why the bruise was there in a Twitter post in 2023, which she has now deleted. She also has Instagram evidence of her showing that bruise in a photo in 2022 before this incident could have ever occurred. The photo of her bruise does not make sense, as this could not happen from her claim of me kneeling on her. This bruise looks like a high-impact car crash.
Lex also provided multiple screenshots of text messages proving that Reagan was extorting him for money using blackmail, and that she only came out with these allegations after he filed a cease and desist order against her. There is a lot in this 30-minute long video, and so if you're interested in going through all the evidence yourself, I will link it in the description below, as we will not be going through it all here. Instead, I want to focus on the impact that these types of situations have on society at large. For starters, I'm gonna say the thing. I'm gonna say the thing that's probably gonna get me canceled, and that is, this is why we don't believe all women. It is an unfortunate fact of the reality that we live in that some women out there, for whatever reason, just lie about these things. I believe some of these women that lie do it simply because they want the sympathy that comes along with being a victim, which actually detracts from real victims of abuse. But also, some women I think do it just because they know the allegation alone is enough to ruin a man's reputation, and that's what they want. That's what they're after. I think that a lot of these women that make these kind of false allegations are incredibly narcissistic women that are just bitter over the fact that a man that they previously had found a way to move on without them. These kinds of women believe that man should forever be subservient to them, and when he finally finds a way to break free of their control, they have to find a new way to exert control over him.
Reagan would also try to justify her cheating, but when we were separated in 2019 and I tried messaging other girls, she would go berserk and would threaten me that I would never be able to leave the relationship, and if I did, she would expose me on Drama Alert or end my career. During this time, Reagan started extorting me for my money, as evidence from PayPal statements from 2019 to 2023, until I filed a cease and desist against her.
Now, I am obviously not talking about all women. Let me make that clear. I am talking about women like Reagan who are proven liars. In this case, Reagan had been cheating on Lex for years without Lex even knowing. And she knew full well that Lex had a difficult time moving on after they broke up. Yet she still decided to exert control over his life by threatening to ruin his life if he stopped sending her money. And so I can imagine it messed with her ego pretty badly when he found someone else and decided to take control of his own life again, because she saw herself as the royal queen and he was nothing but a simp peasant beneath her foot. But another angle I want to look at is an alternate timeline where Lex didn't have the screenshots of text messages or the photos of her diary to prove his innocence. The most common advice given to everyone during a breakup is delete everything, all photos, delete all text messages, anything that could remind you of them, get rid of it. So imagine a circumstance where an individual like Lex is being extorted for money by a bitter ex-girlfriend using blackmail, and yet He has absolutely no way to defend himself against the allegations. That is a terrifying thought. Gee, I wonder why 63% of men under the age of 30 are single and not looking. See, this is where I have a problem with the online drama sphere. It is kind of comical how many times in other videos I say the word allegedly. That is not just to save myself a lawsuit. It's also to remind everyone listening that the things that you read and hear about online are just an allegation until proven to be true. Everyone should always be seen as innocent until proven guilty. But no, that's not how it works on the internet, because people will believe a single allegation about someone simply to either clout chase or to add fuel to an already existing preconception about an individual. Some people might not have liked Lex already for one reason or another, but you know damn well that those same people were saying once these allegations came out that, see, I knew I didn't like him for a reason, meaning they are just using this allegation as a way to validate their own bias against him. Be aware of your own pre-existing biases when hearing and reading allegations about someone, as it is an easy way to get sucked into believing an allegation with little to no evidence. I think the last thing I want to mention before we wrap it up here is that if you find yourself in an abusive relationship, the best thing to do is always just to leave. It really is a sad state of affairs that we're all in today, where some people will knowingly stay longer in a toxic relationship in order to collect evidence against each other, rather than do what's just best for both of them and leave. If you find yourself feeling the need to screenshot text messages, go through diaries, or any other sort of privacy invading action, then your relationship is already too far gone to begin with. I think that who a person is in a relationship is probably the most intimate details about an individual. Because if you think about it, that is them at their most open. That is them at their most cringy. That is them at their most vulnerable. And so for someone to air all of that out to the public, any mistake that they made throughout the entire relationship is now for the entire world to see, is, in my opinion, just wrong. Not to sound like a boomer or anything, but the invention of the smartphone and social media really took the privacy out of private life. In my opinion, Reagan lied about Lex with complete and total impunity. She also leaked very intimate details about Lex that no one other than herself and the other people that Lex had chosen to show those intimate details of himself with should have ever known about to begin with. It is said that the most believable lies are built on an ounce of truth, and that is exactly what I believe Reagan did. She built a mountain of lies on very personal, albeit very cringy things Lex has said and done in the past. But people like Reagan need to be shamed far more than the people that they lie about if we're ever going to disincentivize this behavior. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to tell me what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.